For over the last year or so, we have watched the campaigning from President-elect Trump. It included a couple of different assassination attempts. One local reporter used to work for the Inquirer. She's been traveling around with the campaign and reporting on all of these stops. She's just now slowing down and joining us here in studio. Good friend of ours, Janice Heisel, working now for the Epoch Times. They're based out of New York, right?
Correct.
Okay, so how did they get in touch with you, and what was it like being on the road that many months?
Oh boy, well, I got to tell you, it's been one of the most exhausting things I've ever done in my life, and I'm pretty much an Energizer bunny. Most people who know me would say that. But the way I started working there was I had left the Cincinnati Inquirer, ended up writing 4 books, and in the middle of writing my 4th book, a friend of mine was hired there, started talking to me about it, and lo and behold, I landed at the Epoch Times, and that was in 2022. And later that year, the boss kind of said, we like what you do. How would you like to cover the Trump campaign?
Oh my gosh.
And it was kind of overwhelming at first, but I said, you know what, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. And my husband was very supportive and said, you know, just go for it. So I did.
So you did. All right, so let's talk about the big elephant in the room. There have been a couple different assassination attempts on the president-elect. You were in, I grew up right near where Butler is, so what was that like? Because as reporters, when you're in an area for any kind of an election or a big event like that, you kind of, there are things you always know when you see, like security, and things are kind of cordoned off. You said things looked different that day. What stood out to you?
Well, up to that point, I had covered, I believe, 35 other Trump rallies. So when I first got there were a few things that seemed a little bit off. For example, there were all these roofs. And I just remember having a passing thought, looking at these roofs and thinking, that doesn't look really safe. Like, shouldn't there be like a guard up there or a sniper type guy or whatever? Right. Well, lo and behold, that's where one of the roofs is rooftops where this sniper ended up sitting up and taking shots at the former president.
Did you feel unsafe when all the pandemonium was happening there? Or did you
gosh.
even know what was going on?
Well, because of where I was behind this platform where they keep a lot of the TV crews. They keep the print people back there, and we could only see the monitors. We could not see the stage.
Gotcha.
And at that time, President Trump had a chart up displaying this immigration data. So the people in my area and thousands of people behind me had no idea he'd been shot. We knew that there were sounds that sounded possibly like gunshots, but we didn't want to believe it.
Gotcha.
And so I felt kind of split into two. As a human being, my heart was just pounding. I even later looked it up on my Apple Watch data out of curiosity, and it went double the normal rate.
Yeah.
Right, and so then the other part of me, of course, I'm a reporter. I want to know what's going on. It's my duty, it's my job. And so to try to figure out what was happening, it was very confusing, and we were in, I wrote a column about this, and I said, I felt like I was in an information vacuum for a while. People were behind me going, ma'am, did Trump get shot? And I had no choice but to say, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that must have been really baffling. I know you sent our producer Brad some photos, so where are we looking at right here? What about this picture right here? Where is that?
That's my very first Trump rally. That was in 2023 in March, Waco, Texas. It was his first official rally to kick off this campaign, and it was quite an experience just to be there.
I bet. Now, right here, you see President-elect Trump waving. What is he? Is he waving to you?
He's actually waving to people. I believe this was one at Mar-a-Lago that I shot some pictures as he was on his way out on Super Tuesday. This is just an example here of the throngs of media that show up to cover Trump. It's insane. Hundreds of reporters at some of the events.
And you said, like, so from this point, you can't even see where he is. You're just sort of stuck behind this throng of cameras and lights.
Correct.
And then right here. This
is the Butler rally, and that flag ended up kind of twisting up over itself and made the shape of, like, they called it the angel flag. And this was before the shooting, and a lot of people said, wow, does this now have some kind of symbolic meaning?
Oh my gosh, just crazy. So did you have any kind of pushback from the left on any of this when you were doing it? Were there ever any kind of threats made while you were there? As somebody who had to cover this very incendiary campaign, really.
I got a few nasty messages on social media and also on my email, but nothing drastic. I never felt, unsafe from that yet. Some of my fellow colleagues, though, they were at different events. For example, they were at the Democrat National Convention where there was some violence that actually broke out. So I didn't really feel unsafe, except at Butler. It was a very scary situation there.
I'll bet when you're seeing things happening, unfolding in front of you, but you don't have any line of sight visual on things, and you think, oh my gosh, I'm here and I don't even know what's happening. You said, what about this family as well? You met this family initially where? In Iowa?
In Iowa. I was in Iowa for the primaries there. As you know, caucus night is a big deal in Iowa. It kicks off the entire presidential campaign season. And this particular family, I walked into an event where Eric Trump was going to be speaking. I noticed this large group of people all wearing matching sweatshirts. Tons of reporters there. I'm the only one who has the curiosity to walk up and say, hey, who are you? I found out it's 12 children and their parents.
Wow.
And they were the largest single family group supporting Trump in Iowa. I ended up doing a feature on them, and to this day, they're still in contact with me.
Wow, that's fantastic. Janice Heisel, and it's always great to have you on. You're going to take some time now and just take a breather. I know Epoch Times wanted you to move to D.C. You said, I'm going to pass.
Yeah, but I'm going to go to the inauguration, and so I'll cover some political trends and things too. So it's an exciting future no matter what.
Let us know how it goes. Always great to have you on.
Thank you so much.
A pleasure just to give some insight. It's been a crazy several months.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Take time to chill. All right.